My boyfriend's mom took him to a kissing contest, and they kissed for 3 straight hours. They even won the championship. What's even more outrageous is that he wasn't weaned until he was 12. His mother's extreme pampering turned him into a total mama's boy. He listens to his mom for everything. If I ever talk back to her, I'd get severely beaten. However, before a 90°C extreme heatwave hit, I asked him to go back to my renovated hometown with me to take shelter. Unexpectedly, my boyfriend, Mao Bufan, listened to his mother's nonsense. He thought I wanted to kidnap him to the countryside to swindle his family's city apartment. He even mocked me for being a country bumpkin at this matter of life and death. I firmly broke up with Mao Bufan. After the extreme heat doomsday arrived, my family and I huddled in our air-conditioned house, enjoying a cool and comfortable life, while Mao Bufan couldn't stand the scorching heat in the city and died on the side of the road while looking for water. Standing in a downtown office building, I wiped the sweat from my neck, sighing about how unusually hot this summer was. My phone rang. It was Wang Yi, my best friend from college. Her tone was extremely anxious. Bad news. My mom just got an emergency notice. In a week, there will be extreme heat, and temperatures might soar to 90°C. It'll last for 3 months. Are you sure about this? You know my mom is a climatologist? The experts have confirmed it in internal meetings multiple times. It can't be wrong. Official media will announce it soon. My mom told me to quit my job immediately, go home, and hoard supplies. You need to hurry too. I knew she wouldn't joke around. If she's quitting to hoard supplies, it meant the situation was extremely critical. I forced myself to calm down. With the heat wave coming, where could I take shelter? I immediately thought of my newly built house in my hometown. It's close to the mountains and much cooler. It was the most ideal place to fight the extreme heat. Action speaks louder than words. I didn't hesitate. I quit my job immediately to head back. I rushed back to the apartment I shared with Mao Bufan, packing while waiting for him. As soon as he walked in, I told him about the terrifying heat warning. Mao Bufan, this heat wave will last a long time. I've decided to go back to my hometown in the northeast to take shelter. Come with me. 90 degrees? Stop kidding around. My mom said this is a big city, and any problem can be easily solved. After all, there are so many experts here. Where did you hear this nonsense? The information is absolutely reliable. My friend's mom is a top climate expert. She even quit her job to hoard supplies. Come back with me. My house was just renovated, and we installed heat insulation. You are really ridiculous. Man, my mom was so right about you. She always told me not to go to the countryside with you, saying you just used me to extort our money and our city apartment. Hearing Mao Bufan's words, I laughed coldly. Since he didn't trust me at all, then every man for himself. Since you look down on me so much, let's break up. Fine, who cares? Don't you dare come begging me later. I didn't give him another look and left with my suitcase. Downstairs, I checked my bank balance on my phone. It was enough for me to survive for quite a while. Time was running out. I immediately started my plan to buy supplies frantically. First, I went to the supermarket and bought water and compressed biscuits. Then I rushed into a top-tier outdoor store, buying heat-resistant suits and knee pads for my parents and brother. Face masks, goggles. I bought every piece of heat insulation gear available. The trunk and the back seat were packed to the brim. Even the passenger seat wasn't spared. Done with shopping, I started the engine and headed straight to my hometown. Outside the window, the steel and concrete buildings were gradually replaced by rolling hills and dense forests. Driving on the familiar country road made my tense nerves relax a little. Scattered villages dotted both sides of the road. Over the years, the village population had dwindled, and houses were far apart from each other. They looked isolated, giving off a sense of desolation. Most people had moved to the city or town. Nobody wanted to stay in this small place anymore. But my parents and I had an obsession with it. It was the starting point of our family's memories. Not to mention, in certain special times, it plays an irreplaceable role. As my car turned into the fork road leading to my house, I saw them already waiting. In the shade of the trees, my parents and my younger brother, Yao Yao. You're finally back, sis. We were just waiting for you. The house is done. Waiting for your inspection. When I walked inside, a rush of cool air greeted me. The interior renovation pleasantly surprised me. The modern, minimalist decor was on par with high-end city apartments. The living room and master bedroom had a highly efficient water circulation cooling system. The pipes were embedded into specially made heat-dissipating wall panels. I had specifically requested the installation of a fresh air system. With a powerful cooling function, it was humming quietly, maintaining a comfortable 26°C. The air was crisp and fresh. We also installed solar panels on the roof. Are you satisfied, sis? More than satisfied, it's perfect. At dinner, I solemnly brought up the extreme heat. After listening, my parents and brother looked completely in disbelief. 90 degrees? For 3 months? This is too bizarre, sis. Is the news reliable? My brother also looked highly skeptical. I immediately pulled out my phone and opened the news screenshots. The first ever red extreme heat warning issued by the National Meteorological Bureau. And the photos Wang Yi just sent of her safe house, packed with supplies and cooling equipment. Seeing these, my parents and brother's expressions instantly turned grave. After a moment of silence, they exchanged glances and ultimately chose to believe me. Daughter, you've seen more of the world. Whatever you say, we'll do. Right, we'll follow your plan. It just means hoarding more water and food and reinforcing the house. Even if the heat wave isn't that crazy, these things won't go bad. We'll eventually finish the water and food, and the insulation will be useful in the summer anyway. Nothing will go to waste. Sis, we're with you. We'll start working first thing tomorrow morning, my brother nodded firmly. The next day, we divided the tasks. I was in charge of rushing to buy supplies, drinking water, and instant foods. My brother was responsible for checking the solar power supply. Dad was in charge of reinforcing the main entrance. Mom organized the underground storage room, categorizing and storing food and necessities. I drove straight to the county town. Drinking water was the top priority. I directly ordered nearly 100 boxes of electrolyte water and had a truck deliver them right to our door. I also bought dozens of large water barrels and water purification tablets, planning to store them all in the coolest basement before the heat hit. Although the basement storage room had fresh vegetables, I still felt uneasy. So I purchased dozens of vacuum-packed bags of rice and flour, large jugs of cooking oil, compressed biscuits, dehydrated vegetables, canned meat, and a massive amount of daily necessities, even down to a sufficient supply of toilet paper. What if the extreme heat lasts for more than 3 months? I had to prepare for the worst. Over these few days, Dad not only reinforced the heavy insulated door at the entrance, but also installed infrared motion sensors on the perimeter wall, the cooling system, and solar panels. After being repeatedly tested by my brother, we're guaranteed to operate under extreme conditions. Meanwhile, Mom was busy categorizing the supplies, especially food and medicine that required temperature-controlled storage, getting them ready to be moved to the basement before the heat arrived. Amidst the busyness, I asked my parents to specifically warn the few remaining neighbors in the village about the extreme heat warning, and suggested they store more water and improve their house insulation. Although they were puzzled, seeing our family's actions, they more or less stockpiled some water and insulation materials. Only if our neighbors could survive this would we be truly safe. 3 days before the heat wave struck, the National Meteorological Bureau finally issued the highest-level red heat warning, forecasting temperatures to break 90 C and reminding the public to stockpile water, food and cooling supplies, and to take heat stroke prevention measures. This instantly sparked a wave of panic buying. I opened my phone, and my feed was flooded with messages and posts. Crowds were looting supermarkets, shelves were swept clean. Heat-resistant suits, AC fans, and mineral water. These life-saving items were sold out instantly, offering high price for a heat-resistant suit. 100,000 for one, cash ready. Anyone got an extra AC fan? 50,000 for one, urgently seeking. I have no food at home, always relied on takeout, now I'm doomed. One box of biscuits for 10,000, help. All ice cubes and cooling packs are out of stock. Renting a truck tonight to go to the northern ice house, we'll pack as much as the truck can hold. 800 kilometers one way, any bros want to carpool? Quick question everyone. Can the city's power grid hold up under this extreme heat? Will it collapse? Will there be massive blackouts at 90 degrees? As long as there's power, keeping the AC on max should get us through, right? I felt incredibly thankful that I had acted early, avoiding this chaos. My phone rang. It was Mao Bufan. I thought for a moment, and still picked up. You were right. Everyone is panic buying like crazy now. Prices have skyrocketed. I managed to grab a little water and food, but it cost me years of savings. Spend it if you have to. Your life is more important than money. I think the government definitely has a plan. The city has a lot of resources and emergency power. The apartment I rent has a new AC and a freezer. I can definitely survive this. Alright, take care of yourself. Life and death are up to fate now. The extreme heat arrived right on schedule. In the early morning, it was just approaching 40 C. By noon, the outdoor thermometer had soared to 48 C. The Meteorological Bureau announced that this was merely the prelude to the heat wave. Yao Yao, look at the news. It is expected that within the next few hours, temperatures will break 90 C. All residents must enter shelters immediately. Going outside is strictly prohibited. I narrowed my eyes and looked outside. The sky was a sickly pale white without a single cloud. The sun hung overhead like a red-hot branding iron, mercilessly scorching the earth. The heat waves made the distant mountains look distorted and shimmering. The village was dead silent. Only the hot wind howled across the ground. I knew this heat wave had officially begun. The city was completely paralyzed. I checked the camera I left at the apartment. Mao Bufan was slumped on the sofa, completely drenched in sweat. The outdoor temperature was approaching 68 C. The apartment was as stifling as a steamer. The thermometer showed nearly 50 C. The window glass was burning hot. Through the distorted heat waves, only a blinding white glare could be seen outside. His skin flushed with an unnatural red. He probably never thought the heat wave would be this lethal. Just days ago, he was scoffing at my warnings, thinking I was just being an alarmist, but now he must be regretting it. The concrete poured city was truly no place to escape the heat. Water and electricity in the apartment had long been cut off, making the AC just a useless decoration. He searched around and found only half a pack of crushed instant noodles and half a bottle of mineral water. He picked up the bottle and gulped it down. I can't hold on anymore. I have to go out and find some supplies. I turned off the monitor and ignored him. Over the next few days, the extreme heat wave continued. Normal solar panels would shut down above 70 C. Thankfully, the panels at home were equipped with a heat-dissipating coating and specially made heat-resistant silicon wafers, designed specifically for high temperatures, although the price was double the regular ones. At this moment, every penny was totally worth it. I opened WeChat Moments to check on my former colleagues, friends, and clients. When the heatwave first hit, my feed was filled with desperate pleas for help and crying. By the time the temperature soared to 90 C, it only took a few hours for the streets to become open-air ovens. Indoor temperatures approached 100 C, AC outdoor units had burned out long ago, water pipes burst, and power, water, and gas were all cut off. There was no possibility of cooling. People had to rely entirely on their bodies to endure. Under such conditions, once drinking water was depleted and food ran out, humans couldn't last 3 days before collapsing from dehydration. Gradually, the cries for help in moments and group chats all disappeared. I guess they were all dead. I kept thinking about Mao Bufan, wondering how he was doing, but his phone always returned a busy signal. My family huddled in our air-conditioned room, safe for the time being. The cooling system in the living room hummed quietly, pumping out coolness, keeping the indoor temperature under 30 C. The battery box always held ample power. Mom was boiling mung bean soup, made from the mung beans we grew at home, which tasted exceptionally refreshing. The solar power supply was steady, so we used tablets to watch pre-downloaded TV shows. Last time I went shopping in the county town, I brought back several boxes of electrolyte powder, large bags of freeze-dried fruits, and a mountain of beef jerky. While watching TV shows, mixing a glass of iced electrolyte water, chewing on dried fruits and meat jerky was actually quite enjoyable, while the extreme heat turned the outside world into a purgatory. We were in our air-conditioned room, soaking in this bit of comfort and peace. We spent a rare period of peaceful days. In this kind of weather, no one dared to step outside. Going out meant being roasted alive. At night, our family squeezed into the living room, reading books and binge-watching shows, relying on the system's cool air to survive day after day. One evening, I faintly heard an extremely weak noise coming from outside the door. My brother immediately pulled up the outdoor security camera footage. In the heat waves, a short and small figure on the distant dirt road was stumbling and inching toward our direction. Her figure was as thin as a dry twig, swaying with every step. "Mom, Dad, there's someone outside." My throat tightened. My parents looked at the screen. "Oh my God, it's a child," Mom exclaimed. Dad and my brother grabbed shovels for self-defense and went out, ignoring the scorching pain. They ran to the figure and checked, finding it was a little girl. At this moment, her eyes were half closed, her lips cracked and peeling. Dad and my brother scooped up the child and rushed back into the house. Mom brought a wet towel, wiping her body to cool her down. Dad looked at her, and cried out in shock, "It's Xiao Man from the Li family." Xiao Man was a child from the house at the southernmost end of the village. She just turned 18 this year. I quickly brought a bowl of cool boiled water and brought it to her lips. After a good while, her heavy eyelids finally fluttered and opened. Seeing us gathered around, she was confused at first. Then a massive wave of gratitude and endless grievance washed over her. "Thank you for saving me. My parents are gone. We didn't have a single drop of water left at home. I was so thirsty I couldn't bear it, so I wanted to come out and find a way to survive. Didn't your family follow our advice to store more water in advance? My dad said you were just fear-mongering, so we only stored a little, and it ran out in a few days. My parents fed me the last few sips of water, and then they collapsed, just as I feared. Our warning wasn't believed by everyone. So this outcome was inevitable. From now on, this is your home. We will take care of you. Really? Won't I be a burden to you? Really?" Mom gently wiped away her tear tracks. Xiao Man stayed at our house. My parents loved her and treated her like their own. In less than half a month, her sunken cheeks filled out a bit. Just like that, 3 months passed. 3 months later, that deadly sun that could melt people finally lost its strength. The burning, dry heat in the air faded day by day. The heat waves turned into a gentle breeze, blowing across the ground. It no longer felt like a whip coated in fire, but carried a faint, weak hint of coolness. My brother boldly ran outside. A moment later, he rushed back in, his voice trembling. "It's cool outside." I followed him out to test it. Stepping on the ground, although it was still hot, it no longer brought the piercing pain of stepping on a red-hot iron plate. The temperature had dropped to around 45 C. Although still scorching, it was a limit that a person could grit their teeth and endure. We finally made it through. Mom let out a long sigh of relief. "That's wonderful, we survived." Not long after, the arrival of a torrential rain filled the air with moisture. The extreme heat was finally over. We finally survived.